Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Debbie and I'm on the creative design team at Sizzix, and I hope you're looking forward to a fun project to see that I'm going to be showing you on camera today. I'm using our rounded picture frame, and it is a picture frame die set that's a Thinlit die set and includes all sorts of pieces. You will get spirals, you will get swirls, you'll get foliage, flowers, and a couple sentiments. It also includes one of the Thinlits that has a rounded square opening that corresponds perfectly with our rounded corner square dome. So it's great for any of your shaker cards, if you're going to be adding any of our sequins and beads, which I'm going to show you in a minute, to create a project. It's a great little die set that you'll must have, and I've created something a little different than what you would expect. So I'm going to change the camera to overhead and I'll walk you through it. So as you can see, this is a 15-piece die set. How great is this? You have this little floral picture frame. The die cuts around it and also in the exterior. So all those little flowers give a very delicate, pretty little detail to your project. And this is the part I was talking about. Now this part here doesn't have a blade, but it scores around here. And this is the area that'll cut out. And it also is what you would use if you're going to be doing a shaker card. It fits perfectly in with our rounded square shaker dome. The swirls, the flowers, all the little foliage. So all of these flowers, they correspond with the flowers on here. So what you would do is you would cut it out one time and then adhere any of these on however you want it. And I'll show you a project that I already created using the flowers, but the one that I've created is a little different. So what I've done is I've cut all the pieces, not all the pieces because I didn't do the flowers, but I did this kind of a whimsy looking television. So I remember right when I saw the shape of the dome, I thought, oh my gosh, this reminds me of TV. And then I remembered when I was younger, I'm probably dating myself, when the TV would either go off for the evening or the networks were finished for the day or something was wrong with your TV, you would get these vertical colors. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a card like that. So that's what I've done. I've created that using our adhesive sheets and all of our, not all of our, but a lot of our cardstock colors. And then the sequins and beads. I've just used the silver in here. I've used the stars and the smaller sequins, but on the finished project that I'm going to walk you through, I decided to add a little more color to it. So for the little flowers, I didn't use the flowers, I used the hearts for the antenna and also for the channel changer. And then I'm going to show you a technique using our layered heart die set. And instead of die cutting it, I'm going to show you with using one of our making essentials, which is our transfer embossing set. I'm going to show you how you can, instead of cutting it, you can do the embossed design. So a couple techniques I'm going to walk you through, and we'll finish up with this. So what I did first is I wanted to have all my pieces, the stripes already done. I didn't want to lay them down one at a time and make sure they're right. So what I like to do is if I'm doing something like that, I take our adhesive sheets and then I cut our cardstock into individual strips all the same width and just lay them down. So this way, it's now a sticker. So when I go to cut it out, it's going to be a perfect sticker. This is our adhesive sheet, so it's double-sided. So what I did is I laid these down. Once I run through, it's perfect for any sentiments that are really thin. You don't have to fuss with any glue. You have these strips already ready and ready to cut through. So I'm just going to, I just want to show you how I do that, but I have one that's already ready. So I'm going to take the die set that has that little opening. I don't have to worry about this part, the rectangle piece, because that is not going to be cutting anything. I just want to make sure that I have this, the blade against the pattern. So just center it down a little bit. And you always want to make sure on the machines that you just have your dies coming through just at a slight angle, just so your rollers aren't hitting the dies straight on. So if I went like this, it wouldn't affect it, just gives a little bump, and then it just gives a better lifetime of your dies if you just let it hit at a pointy angle or a rounded angle. So that's why I just twisted that just a little bit. And cutting pad on the bottom and one on the top. Now I'm using the Big Shot fold away. And the crunching is normal, just letting me know my blades are hitting the cutting pad. And there we have it. There's that piece ready to go. All set. Okay, so that's all ready. Then to do the little television piece, I'm going to go ahead and cut that through like that. Same idea, just kind of have it at an angle. I've got this little piece here. I could save it for something later. It's actually not part of the project, so I don't need to worry about that. But now I've got that little piece that's going to create the little television set. So I have my 2 pieces here already. Now I want to cut out my sentiment. So I have some cut already, but I just want to show you how you can do multiples at a time on your machine. So here's a piece that's enough to cut the word hello. And you want to make sure that and I have my adhesive backing on this also. I use the adhesive sheets because this is such a narrow font and tall and skinny that I thought it's easier just to make it a sticker already. So instead of having to worry about a wet glue or anything or a glue pen, it's going to be a sticker already. So I'm going to put the blade against the good side of the paper. If I went like this, it would be legible, but the sticky part would be the legible side, and the silver side would be backward, which you could also use if you're going to be doing any kind of glitter, different colored glitter, but that's not what we're doing. So hello with the blade against the good side of the paper. And then I'm going to cut, let's see, I will cut my hearts. And then I'll run it through. I also am going to cut this little swirls instead of using, or I could use a hearts for antenna. Another thing I could have done for the antenna is using these. So these actually would fit on this one at the same time. I have enough space on there. And this one. Yeah. There we go. Get my top cutting pad. And run it through. You feel a little bit of pressure, it's just letting you know that's going through. So you can see it cut through the adhesive sheet as well as the sentiment. So I'm going to peel that off. And there it is. That's all ready. Sticker ready to go. Peel off the backing, and that's what the beauty is of these adhesive sheets. Peel off that. It's going to get partially peeled off, so it'll help with the process. And then these, the same thing. So the fun thing about this heart is you have the inside and the outside. It's kind of a whimsical little heart. So it depends on if you want both. You can keep them together or separate them like I had on the project. And it's more of an outline of a heart. You can see that. So those are those, and there's a little swirl. I'll peel that off later. The little tiny hearts I'll use for the channel. So that's what the larger one I did for the changing the channel. This would be the volume. So I have those already pre-cut too. So now it's time for the assembly. Let me see if I got everything all done. Yes, let me put the machine aside. And now I'm going to get my card all set. Actually, you know what? I want to show you how to do that embossed piece. So bring the machine back. Get this out of the way. Okay, so for the emboss, the transfer set, I'm using our layered hearts. Now the layered hearts comes with 2 Thinlits and also a framelit. I don't need, it's up to me whichever one I choose. I decided to use the one with the smaller hearts. So I'm going to put these aside, and I also don't need this piece. But this is a great set to have for die cutting or any kind of embossing. It creates a wonderful image. So it'll show you on our platform exactly what you need to do. So since I'm going to be using our silicone rubber and the impressions pad, this is part of the emboss and transfer set. Instead of cutting these hearts out, I want to emboss it. So it'll tell me exactly what I need to do on here. Since I'm not die cutting, I'm not using the thin adapter pad. So I have the platform. I'm going to put the cutting pad here, and then I'm going to put my die down with the blade up. Okay, die down with the blade up. Now I'm going to put my paper, and it shows me just right there exactly the layering that I need to do, the sandwich as we also call it. And I'm going to lay that down there like that. Next, it'll show me that I need my silicone rubber. This just softens it, and same with the impressions pad. It's a plate, but it's not hard plastic like the cutting pad. It's a softer plate, so it softens the blow, as they would say, so it doesn't cut through the image. It wouldn't cut also because I don't have the thin adapter pad on there also. So you have your die, one cutting pad, the die, the paper, the silicone rubber, and the impressions pad. And this is just a great little technique. Sounds like it's cutting, but it's not. Look at the detail. It didn't cut through any of it. It just embossed. How great is that? I love it. So I'm going to trim off this excess. You could cut it down if you wanted. I mean, not cut it down. Tape it down with some of our maker's tape just to make sure it stays put. Mine looks like it shifted a little bit because that silicone is a little slippery. I'll just trim that off. Okay, now I'm done with the machine. Okay, so I have my card base somewhere, and I have my little television. I have my little panel here that I did, and all the little sentiments that I had cut also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our adhesive roller, and I'm going to lay this down here on there. So we got that down. I love how the emboss turned out. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use the same adhesive ruler. I'm going to adhere this down where I want it to be. I just want to mask it just to leave a little groove, not adhere it down completely, but I want to make sure that this is going to be adhered in the right spot. I could have put adhesive tape on that as well, but I changed my mind. So I'm not going to adhere the TV down quite yet. I'm just going to position it, and the tape is a little forgiving, so I'm not going to bear down. I just wanted to have the adhesive on it already, so it would go down smoothly when I'm ready. And just make sure this is down perfectly in the center. Now I'm going to lift it up. Okay, so that's going to be where it's got to be. And that's all set, ready to go. This feels thick just because there's so many layers of paper on there. So what I'm doing next is I want to add my sequins and beads. So like I said, I took a little bit of multiple of our sequins and bead towers, whether it's the limoncello, the lavender dust, the purple dust, some of the Christmas ones, the crimson. I also added mint julep and the rose gold in there just to add a little bit to it. I mean the regular gold, just to add a little bit to it, just to kind of correspond with the craziness of the TV. So I'm going to make sure that I have this already peeled up. This is the square dome, rounded square dome. I want to have this one ready to go. Okay, so this will go down right there on top of that once all the gems and jewels are on there. You don't want to have too many in there because you don't want to take away from the fun that's underneath. But it is kind of fun to, and you could also put your little message on there too as well. So I'm just going to put those on there. Hold the card down because I don't want it to flip open and have all those gems moving around. Oh shoot, okay. Okay, who said that was going to happen? All right, a couple of these back on top since they're trying to run away. And like I said, this fits perfectly, so you know it's going to match up right there on the edges. Okay, and then I like to take this part of my die pick or scissor, whatever you have around that's got a nice firm edge, and make sure that is adhered down like that. Okay, I'm going to put that down there like this, since this already has adhesive on it. I'm not going to bear it down all the way because I want to next do my antenna. So the antenna, I already have the adhesive back on it. I could either bend it or snip it, and I'm just going to snip it in half. And I'm going to adhere it down to the back. And the other one as well. Now, this is good. Okay, so whether I wanted to use the little swirls that I had already cut or the heart, I think I'm going to do the swirls this time. I think that's super cute. You just cut your a little sliver of your glitter cardstock. This is a silver glitter oh my god, I can't say it. Silver glitter cardstock from our opulent cardstock set of the silver opulent. And same with this one. This is using the same opulent set, and that's the pearl finish. Peel these off. Get the backing off so it's already ready to sticky. How fun is that? Okay, so next I have my little TV. Now, since I had done this already previously, I took I can't think of it, the foam sheets. This is our foam sheets that are about 4x6, and it's a full double-sided foam. I just cut a tiny, tiny square just to have the little dimension to my heart. That's going to be the channel changer. I could have also used our foam tape. That's the same thing, same thickness. I just had that one, this one handy. So, and I'm going to go ahead and put this one here. And then I have my smaller ones already peeled off and ready to stick. Put those right underneath. This is for the volume. I can't remember what the other knob was for, but it just brought back memories when I did this. I showed my husband, he was cracking up. Okay, so that's that, and that is ready to go. Next, we just need to adhere our hello. And the project is done, and then I will show you the other one that I created just so you can get an idea how the flowers can all come together. And I just did another take on the whole thing, minus the dome. Peel these off. This font is so thin and narrow that I love the fact that since it's so narrow that you can kind of bend it and manipulate it so it can like curve around something too. That would be fun. Pieces out. Get the little dam out of the E. Okay, and the word fits perfectly inside of this little section. So that part of the die, the word smile, and also hello fit perfectly in here. So it gives a little indentation, but it's not necessary. You could also fill it with some of the flowers, so it depends on what you're creating. These little pieces of silver stuck on there. And there we have it, a fun little shaker card. Just a little take on the flower, a little different little take on using the technique. Instead of using it as the actual flower frame, you could put a photo in here, you could do the flowers, you could do it as a TV. It's a great little card. You could cut this on the fold and it would give you a folded card. So that's another option. Then you can have the little dome on either side. But I thought it was a fun little take on doing something a little outside of the ordinary with this, this die set. So another technique that I did is when you cut the flowers, let me show you really quick. When you cut the flowers, it will cut out, let me cut this piece of paper here. You need to have all these accessories. So it'll cut out the flowers, obviously, the flower framelit, and as well as the little cutout square, rounded square circles. So I'm going to show you how I created this one project. Before I take it out, I'm going to show you the pieces that I used. So when you cut the actual framelit, you're going to be getting this, plus the pieces that, the piece that cut out. Now for this particular one that I'm going to show you, I did it, but I did it twice. So I thought, how fun would that be if you created a little box? So what I did is, let me bring that up a little bit, I used the smile, but then I kept the sides and used this piece. So I cut 2 of these, which gave me 2 of these and 2 of these all at the same time. And then what I did next is I adhered with hot glue the walls of the box. They fit right on there. And then I put another one with just the white on the back, and then the second little rounded square is on the side. So that creates the walls. And then I just took a narrow piece of cardstock and just kind of folded around like a U shape and laid it on the inside. So whatever you're putting in it, whether it's something, it has to be something really light, otherwise it'll fall through because there's no actual base to this. But I thought it was kind of a fun little different little technique on that. I cut it out in white, then I cut it out again in our lush leaves, and then I added individual flowers with the die set to create the additional embellishments with sequins and beads and a little of the silver glitter opulent, and then added the smile sentiment. That's another technique that you could do, just kind of a fun little it could be a place setting, just write somebody's name in there, or it could be something in a, like little favors at a bridal shower. It makes this little die set so pretty. It's got these dainty little flowers, and then a totally different take on it is doing the card. So that's what I've created. If you have any questions, pop them in the comment section below. We'd be happy to get back to you. And as always, we have so much inspiration on our website, Sizzix.com and Sizzix.co.uk. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to change to my overhead camera right now. I'm so happy you joined us today. We hope you've been inspired by the project I created using the rounded picture frame. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments section below. We look forward to hearing from you soon and seeing any of the project you create. Now remember, if you post anything, please use the hashtag #MyMakingStory. We can't wait to hear from you again. Take care. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.